Picture yourself in a world with no energy sources. What would it look like? How would you feel? The environment needs new ways to make renewable energy for multiple purposes. Having a new variation of renewable energy, such as offshore wind turbines, can benefit the world. I've been doing research into why offshore wind turbines need to be used. Offshore wind turbines can allow you to see the importance in taking care of our planet and why we need renewable energy products. If we run out of other energy sources or want to make the world better, offshore wind turbines can drastically help. These are the topics that I will explain that will show why offshore wind turbines are a great source of energy. First, I will share some background on energy sources. Second, I will explain what exactly an offshore wind turbine is. Third, I will explain how an offshore wind turbine is used. Fourth, I will then describe how offshore wind turbines can be beneficial to our lives. And last, I will help describe how offshore wind turbines can continue to advance and be useful. The first thing I will be describing is some background on other energy sources. Colby 2019, Wind Power Onshore versus Offshore Wind Farms, helps learn about these other energy sources. There's an abundant amount of other energy sources other than offshore wind turbines. There are many cheap sources such as fossil fuels used to create energy. Something very similar to offshore wind turbines are onshore wind turbines that are also used to create renewable energy and as of now are the most numerous of wind power. These other energy sources can have compare and contrast ideas with offshore wind turbines. Offshore wind turbines will become cheaper as they start to advance and expand their popularity and already have new technology trying to help with that. Offshore wind turbines do not have to worry about being strategically placed around houses or people, which allows them to have the potential to have a numerous amount of wind power production globally. Now that you understand more about energy sources, you can now understand why offshore wind turbines need to be used. The second important topic is understanding what exactly an offshore wind turbine is. Hartman 2020, Top 10 Things You Didn't Know About Offshore Wind Energy, helps explain what exactly an offshore wind turbine is. An offshore wind turbine is a way of producing electricity through wind and renewable energy. It is so abundant that it can deliver huge amounts of clean energy to numerous cities. The electricity is transmitted through cable systems buried in the seafloor. Coastal load centers direct where the electricity should be channeled into the electrical grid to power things that are needed. In the United States alone, the turbines are so powerful that their potential could be more than 2,000 gigawatts of capacity. An offshore wind turbine is uniquely made to be able to produce an extremely well amount of energy. They are made with blades at the top that can be compared to twice the length of a football field. They can be much taller and bigger than other turbines because their height gives them the power to be able to catch the plentiful wind resources. Some can be as tall as 1.5 times the height of the Washington Monument, while some can be as small as the White House. No matter how big or how little, there are many different foundations underneath the water that these offshore wind turbines can be connected to. Now that you understand what offshore wind turbines are, you can now see how they work. The third important topic to know is how they are used. COD 2019, Offshore and Onshore Wind Farms, What Are Their Pros and Cons, gives information about how offshore wind turbines work. These work and are used well because of their location. Since they are located offshore, there are no hills or buildings to block the wind needed for good production. These are used for their wind over the open water where there are very high wind speeds. Offshore wind turbines are used and work well because of their engineering makeup. The turbine's carbon fiber blade uses a motor to turn kinetic energy into electricity. The energy goes to the gearbox to slow the speed into a high-speed motion, which turns the drive shaft quickly to power the electric generator. Now that you know how offshore wind turbines work, you can now learn the benefits that come with them. The fourth important topic is understanding how these can be beneficial to people's lives. Kufari 2018, Offshore Wind Farms, What Are the Benefits, can show benefits that come with these offshore wind turbines. Offshore wind turbines are beneficial by producing an efficient amount of energy. Because their wind speeds tend to be so fast, it allows for a good source of energy. Offshore wind turbines also give efficient energy by staying consistent with their production. Offshore wind turbines are also helpful because they keep our planet safe by being environmentally friendly. By not taking in water or giving off noise pollution, they are not interfering with the environment surrounding them. Offshore wind turbines do not give off environmental pollutants or greenhouse gases that can damage their surroundings while they are working. Now that you know the benefits that come with offshore wind turbines, you can now learn how they can keep progressing to be an efficient energy source. The last thing I will explain is how offshore wind turbines can continue to advance and be useful. Fialka 2020, Floating Offshore Wind Turbines Set to Make Inroads in U.S., helps explain how they can keep progressing to be useful. Offshore wind turbines can continue to make new advancements to better the product. One new advancement already being made is floating offshore turbines, which will allow for them to go into deeper water for more use. Other advancements, such as using offshore wind turbines to reduce power line congestion and store extra energy, are already being thought of as well. These new advancements can continue to be useful when using offshore wind turbines. One benefit of floating offshore wind turbines is it will allow for 80% of the world's offshore waters to be suitable for this product. By making the water suitable for others, it will allow this product's use to expand. When offshore wind turbines start to expand, they can become a global industry that will allow for them to be made cheaper. By using these new advancements, offshore wind turbines can give the benefit of continuing to have a good source for renewable energy. Overall, I believe these concepts can help you understand why offshore wind turbines need to be used as an effective energy source. Again, I believe these are the important topics that allow you to understand how offshore wind turbines are an excellent source of energy. First is knowing background on energy sources. Second is learning what exactly an offshore wind turbine is. Third is understanding how offshore wind turbines are used. Fourth is knowing how these are beneficial for people. And last is understanding how offshore wind turbines can continue to advance and be useful. Offshore wind turbines are a smart and helpful product for renewable energy. These offshore wind turbines can be used for a cleaner way of producing energy. These offshore wind turbines can also be used for a way of making sure we can maintain energy in our everyday lives. With this knowledge of offshore wind turbines, I hope you can understand how important these are for the next major step in energy production. Offshore wind turbines are important for producing energy from this point on. Using these as a source of energy is a smart and effective way and could potentially be an imperative part of the future.